Hello and welcome. It's about midnight, and I'm overwhelmed with discourse about the CW's The Flash. So recently, actor Hartley Sawyer, who plays Ralph Dibny on the show, the elongated man, was fired for some offensive, misogynistic, racist tweets that he posted in the vicinity of a decade ago. And a lot of people are pretty upset about that. They say, oh, well, the CW, they portray a lot of redemption arcs in their show. In fact, even Ralph Dibny, the character who Hartley Sawyer played, had a redemption arc and was all about second chances when he was introduced. So why not give him one? And I want to just take a little bit of a step back from that. That conversation is fine. That conversation is good. It should be had. I want to just look at it from a different perspective. Imagine you're, a person of color. Imagine you're a woman and you wake up one day and you work on The Flash. Maybe you're Candace Patton. Maybe you just work behind the scenes. Imagine you wake up one day and you see this and you learn this about your coworker, that your coworker is always, at one point even, not even necessarily right now, but at one point they didn't respect you. They saw you and they thought, I can make fun of this person. They can be a punchline on Twitter, for a meager reaction, for a fucking Twitter joke, Imagine that. And imagine having to come into work the next day and see them, and have to interact with them and have to worry about that. That's what giving someone a second chance is about. Well, that's not what it's about, excuse me, poor choice of words. That's what the second chance does, is it facilitates a situation of unrest and discomfort for everyone. It's an unsafe work environment to some extent. I think threat of racism and misogyny and threat of judgment in that way is not a safe thing. And so I think what firing him does is it, saves people from having to save those marginalized people who already are probably having a more difficult experience in film than a white dude like Hartley Sawyer is. I know Candace Patton has spoken a lot about the experience of being a black woman on these shows and the difficulty of it, and it's systematic. Keeping him on says we are a system that doesn't care about the hurt of minorities, of disenfranchised people, of marginalized groups. And that's my perspective. I like the elongated man. I like Hartley Sawyer as an actor from what I've seen of him in the show. I don't think that people should be held accountable for what they posted 8 years ago on Twitter. I don't think that should fire them. I do think that Black Lives Matter, and if this needs to happen in order for the CW to maybe do a little bit of restructuring and reevaluation and figure out, ways to be more inclusive and handle their programming better and handle the needs and requirements of their people, of their staff of color and their female staff, good. I support that. I think that it's worth it, and I think he'll get a job. I don't think he'll have to worry that much about getting a job. Anywho, that's the end of this rant.